Is Angola replacing Portugal with China as its main trade partner? Amid a political row over allegations of Angolan money laundering in Portugal, the Angolan president announced the end of the strategic partnership with Lisbon. The oil-rich country has invested billions of euros to rebuild infrastructure destroyed by decades of civil war. Many of the 200,000 Portuguese in Angola work in construction. Men like Elidio, who's the foreman on this building site. His company, Suarez da Costa, is struggling to survive and may be bought out by an Angolan oil mogul offering new investment opportunities. Like many others, Elidio was lured to Angola by the promise of lucrative wages.
First, my wife and me talked it over, and the decision to emigrate wasn't easy. But here I earn much more, so we took the decision that I should try it. Of course, it's bad to be separated from your family. On the other hand, back there in Portugal, my family has all it needs, that's good. That's a tattoo of my daughter. I love her very much. And that's my wife's name. We talk to each other every day by phone or by Facebook. Every day at dinner time I talk to my wife or my daughter.
Luanda's skyline is dominated by cranes, towering symbols of a booming city. At this spacious campus of the Catholic University of Luanda, we meet one of the country's top economists. President Eduardo dos Santos' decision to end the strategic partnership with Portugal was a shock, he says.
We've
heard of some Portuguese companies having already problems getting new contracts, especially in the building sector. There we have some serious problems. Moreover, there are unsolved and continuing problems over working visas for Portuguese people wanting to work in Angola. We know that in the Angolan consulate in Portugal, quite a lot of visa requests are turned down.
While some old stereotypical ideas linger, the Portuguese are arrogant, Angolans are always late or don't turn up for work. Mostly relations between the two communities are good. But with large numbers of Angolans unemployed, how do they feel about Portuguese immigrating to their country for work?
Well, it depends. There are Portuguese coming to Angola to help, but there are others who want to harm our interests, and that's not good.
It's very good that there's an exchange between countries. We can learn from them, and they can learn from us too.
It's a good thing that the Portuguese come here to help and make the country work. If they do this in cooperation with our Angolan government, that's really good. Not at all bad.
Sonangol, Angola's state-run energy giant, is controlled by the president's allies. Critics, including the IMF, question the murky way it and other big Angolan companies are run. Thanks to the oil boom, Luanda is now one of the world's most expensive cities to live in. There's a steady influx of experts from Portugal.
There's a link between the collapse of the Portuguese labour market and the migration of Portuguese seeking work abroad. For us, Angola is an obvious option. We speak the same language. It's an accessible country full of opportunities. Here you can earn 2 or 3 times what you can in Portugal.
The Portuguese construction company Teixeira Duarte is building the new parliament under a multi-million euro contract. The Chinese speak a different language, but they're also making good money. They're building entire satellite towns like Quilamba near Luanda, which can house 500,000 people. If Angola does replace Portugal with China, Brazil or South Africa, Lisbon will lose a lot.
Portuguese exports to Angola represent an estimated 3 to 4 billion euros per year. And money sent by Portuguese migrants back home, estimates are around the equivalent of 1.3 to 1.4 billion US dollars per year. Those figures are significantly high for a country that's in the midst of an economic and social crisis.
When Angola broke from its colonial master Portugal in 1975, most Portuguese left. The euro crisis has brought them back. Isabel and her daughter moved to Angola after they were obliged to close their flower shop in Lisbon. She set up in Luanda with the help of a local business partner.
You have to organise everything in advance before leaving your home country. You have to think about how to find some affordable housing, for instance. That can be extremely expensive around here. Living costs are high. You have to watch carefully what you spend and not spend it all. Usually migrants want to save money or send it home. That's why they leave home to go to a more economically stable country.
Dos imigrantes, não é? Irem trabalhar para outro país para de facto conseguirem ter uma economia mais estável.
Staging glittering parties for politicians and businessmen, Carlos is close to the ruling elite. He explains the golden rule. Putting business partners in touch with each other means a 10% cut of the contract. That's the local practice. To get into the real money, you need to be trusted by the rich, he says.
You should have the right partner that gives you the way to grow and to be here for a long time and to get money. That's what we are here, to get money. It's money. It's nothing more, it's money. You came here for money.
70% of the population lives on less than €2 a day. Life expectancy is 51. Transparency International places Angola among the most corrupt countries worldwide. Officially, Angola's president has a zero-tolerance policy on corruption, but the country is divided between the very poor many and the very rich few.
What happens here? Not a single corruption case has gone through the judicial process up to final conviction. What we've seen here in Angola in reality is the emergence of a class of the super rich, and the size of their fortunes is difficult to explain given the fact that the money was accumulated in a very short space of time.
Across town at the Naval Club, we meet a group of friends. Pedro, who recently arrived from Portugal, Luanda fireman Joelson, and Felipe from the Angolan Navy. The trio share a dream based on pooling their knowledge. Pedro is mentoring his future partners with the aim of one day opening diving clubs all along the coastline. The local men say Pedro's attitude helps.
There's a lot of modesty in Pedro's character. That's why we get along so well with each other. Generally, Portuguese and Angolans mingle well. The proof? The diving together works out fine. We're linked to each other as a group through mutual respect, modesty and teamwork. We have the same passion, we love nature, we love diving. Political problems or disputes don't affect our diving business at all.
As Pedro and his friends build their dream, news emerges that judges in Portugal have closed several money laundering inquiries against high-ranking Angolan dignitaries. Some in both countries hope this ruling will also end the political controversy that's proved so costly to bilateral relations.